Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Sai Krishna. So, last week we were looking at chapter 22, Sai Ram, the end of chapter 22, where we were talking about the Kshetra and the Kshetrajna, where Swami talks about what, what actually is the field or the knower of the field. And now we are actually going into the continuation of the same topic, Sairam. So first let me start with the shloka. I'll just chant it once, Sairam, and we have one shloka at the end as well, where Swami talks about the three gunas. So now this is the chapter 13, verse 2, and this is also part of Balvika's syllabus. So this is this shloka talks about kshetra and kshetrajna, the definitions. So Swami says, Bhagavan Uvacha, idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidiyate etadyo veti tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. So Swami says that this body is known as the kshetra, that is idam shariram, this body. Kaunteya's son of Kunti, that is Arjuna. Kshetram is again the field, so it is called as field, Swami says. And then etad yo veti is one who knows this. For him we call him as kshetrajna. So Swami says, O Arjuna, this body is termed as kshetra, the field of activities, and the one who knows this body is called the kshetrajna, or the knower of the field, by the sages who discern the truth about both. So the sages who know the truth, they use these terminologies in order to refer to these two people, is what Swami says. And let's get into the topic, Sairam. Swami says that another meaning of kshetra is field, or that is full of significance. So Swami says that the seeds are sown or saplings planted in the field. So just how the farmers plant saplings in the field, similarly we can imagine the field. The harvest depends on their nature and quality. The body is the field, and the soul is the protector of the field and the crop. So here we can compare the body as the field and the soul as the farmer, or one who takes care of the crops. Sowing the seeds of meritorious deeds, one reaps joy and happiness. Sowing the seeds of sin, one reaps the harvest of grief and worry. Sowing the seeds of sin, one reaps the harvest of grief and worry. Sowing the seeds of wisdom, one garners the harvest of moksha, that is liberation from the bondage of birth and death. So here Swami says, what if we sow what we sow, that is the same thing we reap. So if we sow the seeds of good deeds, we'll reap happiness and joy. If we sow the seeds of sin, we'll reap again worry, grief, and all the sufferings that we undergo in life. And then if we actually sow the seeds of jnana, we'll get moksha, or liberation. Just as the farmer knows the nature and characteristics of the field, the protector of the field, kshetrajna, the soul, must know the nature and qualities of the body. The only difference between the words kshetra and kshetrajna is the syllable jna. It means jnana, the one who knows, or the knower. So the one who knows the field or the body, the excellences and the deficiencies, is the kshetrajna. That which has no such knowledge, the inert material thing, that is the kshetra. So here Swami again talks about the duality, where one who knows about the field or the body that we have, and the vehicle that we use in order to move towards the chariot that Swami talked about in the previous chapter, that which we use to move towards our goal, that is merging with the Lord, that is not coming back and taking birth. So that person is known as the kshetrajna. I mean, that entity is known as kshetrajna, and that thing which has no such knowledge, which is inert, and which does not have any like will of itself, that inert material thing is known as kshetra, is what Swami says. So Arjuna asks the next question, Krishna, of what benefit is it to know these two entities, that is body kshetra and knower of the body kshetrajna? So he asks, what is the benefit of knowing the difference between these two things? So Krishna laughs and says, what a foolish question to ask. By inquiring and knowing about the nature of the kshetra, one's grief is destroyed. By knowing about the nature of the knower of the body, or kshetrajna, bliss, ananda, is acquired. So Swami says, knowing about the kshetra, we can destroy the grief, and knowing about the kshetrajna, or the one who knows about the body, we can attain ananda. The bliss is also designated as moksha or liberation. So Swami says, such a kind of a bliss is also known as moksha. Krishna then relapsed into silence. But Arjuna, who is the representative of all mankind on the battlefield between the higher and the lower impulses, prodded him further. Krishna, who experiences both the destruction of grief and attainment of bliss, is it the soul or the body? Please elucidate. So here again Arjuna asks, is it the soul or the body which actually experiences bliss and which actually undergoes the destruction of grief? So which is it? Which entity is that? Is what he asks. So Krishna replies, Arjuna, the body kshetra is associated with attributes dullness, tamas, passion, rajas, and purity, sattva. So the soul, when in contact with the body and when it identifies itself with the body, imagines that it is experiencing grief and joy, which are the consequences of these attributes. The soul or the knower of the field has no real relationship with these attributes. The soul is just a witness. When iron is brought in contact to fire, it has the power of scalding. But it is not iron that scalds, it is the fire. Through contact with nature, soul appears as the doer and the experiencer. So here Swami says that, the body has all the qualities. So his body is the thing that is capable of, realizing what is grief and joy. Due to the material nature, that is the three gunas, that is the reason, that is the consequence, that the consequence of the three gunas is grief and joy. So, and Swami says the soul has no attributes or no characteristics. I think a few, 10 chapters before we were talking about the qualities of the soul. And in chapter 2, Swami also emphasizes the qualities of the soul as well, where he says it is formless, it is shapeless, it has no weight, and it cannot be killed, or it does not kill anyone. So we were talking about the soul. So here Swami says the soul has no such attributes, that is the three gunas do not affect the soul. It is just a witness, it is a witness that stands up away from everything and just watches. So similarly Swami says, when he gives the example of iron. So when iron is brought in contact with fire, it attains the quality of scalding or burning. But it is not iron that actually burns when we touch it, but it is the fire. So similarly, when in contact with nature, the soul appears to have qualities and to be the doer and the experiencer, but it is not so. Therefore, it is not proper to infer that the soul is having grief and joy, simply because it occupies the body, which is the vehicle of the attributes or gunas. The earth sustains and helps the seed to grow into a tree or to decline. It is the attribute of the earth that causes these two. So again Swami says that we cannot take the soul to be the doer and the experiencer, but it is actually just the body which is it's the vehicle for the gunas. So the earth sustains and helps the seed to grow or decline. Similarly, our body is just a tool that allows us to either experience joy or sorrow. It is the attribute of the earth that allows the tree to grow. So similarly Swami says, the seed of the life principle grows and blossoms into the Brahman principle, the supreme being or the Brahma Tattva in the body, which is the earth principle. Just as manure and water are essential for the tree to bloom and bear fruit, Satya, Shanti, Sama, that is truth, equanimity, tranquility, and Dhamma, that is the control of the senses, are essential for the blossoming of the spirit into Atmic wisdom. So here Swami says just how the seed is required for the tree to sprout, and he says that the Brahman principle can be taken as the tree and the body can be taken as the earth principle. Just similarly, the manure and water are essential. So for the tree, similarly, truth, equanimity, tranquility, and control of senses. These are the qualities that can be compared to manure that is required for the blossoming of the spirit into Atmic wisdom. That is jnana, Atma jnana. The attributes of creation make it assume multifarious forms. The three attributes represent the three aspects of human nature. Passion, Rajoguna, is the attachment that brings about desires and creates eagerness to enjoy the objective world that is seen. It breeds desire for physical and heavenly pleasure. Dullness, Tamoguna, cannot grasp the reality, so it misunderstands easily and takes the false to be true. It lands persons into negligence and error. So here Swami talks about the three attributes. So passion can be compared to attachment, that is the raga, which brings about desires and which causes the whole cycle of the six desires. So similarly, it is also the reason for the all the physical and heavenly pleasures that we actually we seem to aspire for. And dullness also is the attribute, that is tamoguna. It can be compared to ajnana or ignorance. So it makes us misunderstand everything, and it causes us to fall into error. And Swami says these two things bind instead of releasing. So purity or sattva guna controls the cause of grief and sorrow. It encourages people to follow the path of real joy and happiness. Purity is the only guna that it allows us to manage our griefs, and it allows us to follow the path of real happiness and bliss. So being single pointed and unaffected by any of these three is the basis of purity and steadfastness. So even what Swami says is too much sattva guna is also is not the ultimate goal. The goal is going beyond all the three gunas to a state of equanimity. So that is the thing that we want to do. Have the glass chimney of the lamp clear, and its light will shine bright. Have a glass that is multicolored, and its light will be dimmed. On the other hand, if the lamp is kept inside a mud pot, the darkness will continue as it was. So the lamp is the same, but the container affects its expression. Purity is the lamp that shines clear through the white glass chimney. Passion is the many-colored glass chimney which makes the light dim and poor. Inertia is the mud pot inside which the lamp is totally ineffective. So here Swami compares, like lamps that we used in, like when we were young. The lamps that we use, they have, the glass covering out of it, so that we will be able to experience the light. But if we have a colored glass, the light will be dim, and if we have something like a mud pot, the light won't be even visible. So similarly, Swami says sattva is the quality that has the glass lamp, which is the clear glass. Rajoguna is the quality that allows us to have a stained glass or the colored glass, which makes the light dim. And the tamoguna or tamas is the quality that makes the glass inside a mud pot, which makes it completely ineffective. So purity, sattva guna, is self-knowledge. Passion, rajoguna, is sullied to some extent, and the smoke sullies the chimney and dims the light. It also agitates the flame of the lamp that is not straight and steady. Inertia, tamoguna, is the suppression of the light or the wisdom that is the very nature of people. So here Swami again he re-emphasizes the point. He says that tamoguna extinguishes the light of knowledge. Rajoguna actually disturbs the light, and it blocks it to some extent. But purity is actually what allows the light to glow bright. So we have to follow sattva guna, and then we have to go beyond even that, is what Swami says. And we conclude this chapter with this, Sairam. The next chapter 23. So we'll start with the first topic today. We have two topics. First is the three gunas, that is the inertia, passion, and purity. He goes into detail. Second topic is the 20 qualities. I think 20 or 21, I'm not sure, but 20 qualities essential for wisdom. So we'll see that the second topic in the next week, Sairam. Now we'll start with the first topic. The three qualities or gunas: purity, passion and dullness, sattva, rajas and tamas, undergo various permutations, combinations and modifications and become manifested as all this creation, this universe or prakriti. Therefore, this creation is subject to change. It's not fixed. True, but the Atma is consciousness or Chaitanya, which is sheer effulgence. So it is not subject to blemishes or modification. The body is creation, the intellect Buddhi and the mind Manas are also creation. For this reason, they also differ according to the degree of excess or deficiency of one or the other of the qualities. So here Swami says that already we talked about the same topic, that is the whole universe is just the combination of Jada and Chaitanya, which are the two entities that exist within the universe. One is inert and the other is consciousness. So when we add the color of the three qualities or the three gunas, that is purity, passion and dullness, that is sattvam, rajas and tamas, when we try to add these three colors to all the two entities, the net combination and the permutation that we get is the universe. So while this is true, the Atma or the consciousness does not actually, it is not actually subject to all these three gunas. So when it comes into contact with the material, when Jada and Chaitanya are in consonance, only then we'll have the universe. So that is the way it works. And Swami says everything differs to the when we have one quality in excess we get one thing, and when we have the other quality in excess we get the other thing. So that's how the entire thing works. And Swami also says that the buddhi and the manas, the intellect and the mind, the what we consider to be the part of the antakarana, they are also part of the material creation. They are not associated with the soul. Like TGK uncle often mentions that we have 6 things. One is body, mind, intellect, then we have soul, super soul, and the Paramatma, that is God. So similarly, when we look at the mind and the intellect, they are also part of the material creation. That is not part of the soul or the super soul. The purity or sattva guna is steady, pure, unselfish, light. So those who have this characteristic will have no wish or want. They will be fit for the knowledge of the Atma. Those with passion or rajoguna will be engaged in acts tarnished with the tinge of ego. They may have the urge to do service to others, but that urge will drive them to win fame and take pride in their achievements. So here Swami says purity or the complete sattva guna is like unselfish, and it is what can we say? It is always equanimous, and it is selfless, and all the actions done are done like with the intention that the fruit is not mine and the fruit belongs to the God. So such people will not have any desire, and such people will not have any concept of I or ego, and such people are actually eligible for the knowledge of Atma. And Swami says people who are doing their actions with rajoguna or passion, such people will have the tinge of ego. So that again that causes the whole cycle to happen. That is, they think that okay, the service that I am doing, that's something that I do. So that will make them subject to everything. So they will think that okay, I need recognition for this, so I need to have something in response to this. So that will again disturb their whole cycle. They will yearn for their own good along with the good of others. Those who are endowed with dullness are overcome by the darkness of ignorance, so they will grope about, but not knowing what is right and not what is wrong. So here Swami says people who are actually undergoing their work with tamas, they are like the people who Swami says as karma brashta. And we talked about nishkama karmi, sakama karmi, and karma brashta. So the people who actually follow tamo guna or dullness, they will do all their actions even without the sense of what is right and what is wrong, or whether we can do this or not. So that is like the extreme opposite of what we want to achieve in life. So that is not something to be done. And any one of these 3 qualities makes one unfit for the realization of the highest reality, which liberates the individual and merges one in the universal. Since the person is embedded in creation, the person fondly believes themselves to be experiencing the qualities that form creation. But this is an illusion. So here Swami says that, while people who operate under Sattva Guna, they have the, they are qualified enough to know about the Atma, but they cannot break out of the cycle and realize the supreme truth. So he says that that's like a stepping stone. Like when we go from, if we are undergoing Tamo Guna, or we labor under the complete darkness, so we have to aspire to go towards Rajoguna, or like what can we say, passionate activity. So when we have at least the passionate activity, then we will aspire to move towards again Sattva Guna. So that's like the path that we have to take. But in order to break out of the cycle, we'll have to go even beyond Sattva Guna, and we have to become quality less. So when a person has any of these three qualities, they will actually they'll be unable to experience themselves as separate from the creation. That is, they will have the body consciousness, and that is just an illusion. To destroy this illusion, inquiry into the nature and characteristics of the field or kshetra or creation, prakriti, has become necessary. For the beginner, the spiritual aspirant, inquiry into knowledge and the known are essential. But the wise one or jnani has to pay more attention to these qualities. The known is the reality, the experience of the divine basis of all. So here Swami says that inquiry is necessary in order to go beyond everything. So when we try to inquire the nature of the kshetra and the creation or prakriti, we can start to understand how things work, and we will have the duality. We'll be able to see ourselves as separate from the body or the material nature. So what Swami says is, while a knowledge is essential, we have to pay more attention to these things. And he says that the known is reality, and what is known, that is the reality, and that is the experience of the divine bliss. So Arjuna listens to this all attentively, and he asks, "O Lord, what quality should a wise one possess?" So, one who has experienced it, what should he possess is what Arjuna asks. So Krishna replied, "Partha, one must have the 20 virtues in ample measure. You might ask what they are. I shall tell you about them. But do not conclude that the goal is reached when you have them all. The goal, immortality, can be reached only by experiencing Brahman, since all this is indeed Brahman. Sarvam khalvidam Brahman. When knowledge is full, the knower becomes the known. For this consummation, one has to be purified by virtues. Then the known can be experienced and the realization reached. Therefore, I shall first tell you about this. Virtue first, then victory. What a splendid path! To seek Brahman without first ensuring a moral and virtuous life is like desiring a flame without lamp or wick or oil. Acquire all these three, then light it and get light. It is with the light of realization of Brahman, or light of realization of Brahman or God, that is Brahman Jnana. So here Swami talks about virtues. So there are 20 virtues that one has to acquire completely. Only then we can be qualified and be aspire for immortality or liberation. So Swami says it's not like, okay, once you acquire the qualities, by default you have it. You still have to put a little more effort. So Swami says Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, that is, all this is indeed Brahman. So that has to be experienced. And Swami compares virtues to the lamp, wick and oil. So when we have a lamp, when we have the wick that we light and the oil, only then we can have light. So similarly, like with that way, we'll be able to attain the flame of realization or the Brahma Jnana. So here we'll talk about the chapter 2 verse 45 Sairam. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Satyastho Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. So here the Vedas deal with the three modes of material nature, Arjuna. Rise above the three modes to a state of pure spiritual consciousness. freeing yourself from dualities and eternally fixed in truth without concern for, the material gain and safety, be situated in the self. So Swami says we have to go even beyond the yoga kshema. That is already he'll take care of our yoga kshema when we are contemplating on him constantly. So when we rise even beyond that, and when we rise beyond duality, and when we are beyond the three qualities, that is the three modes of nature, and when we are situated in the self, that is nitya sattvasto, that is situated in the truth, then we'll be able to attain liberation. So that's what Swami says in this shloka, and I think with this I'll conclude for today's Saira. If there are any points to be discussed, we can have a discussion. If there are no points, Auntie, you can get started in like 1 minute or so. Saira.
Okay, I will wait for 1 minute and I want to start.
Sure, Saira.
There are no questions. So I will start with my Bhagavad Gita verse number 27. We are continuing with Raja Vidya Raja Gosha Yogam. And last time I explained Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyum Yume Bhakta, that one. Whatever we offer it with a devotion, God will accept it and give in return whatever we ask, he'll give it. That was the translation. But if we look at Swami's explanation, here we have to offer our mind, body, soul, everything. Then he looks after our needs. That's what was given in Satyasai Speaks. Today's continue with the same thinking that yet instead of offering, we should start in worshipping in house, offering water, offering fruit, or tulsi leaves, or bil patre and all. We should start worshipping in house. Then we should worship in temple also. In all houses, this is common. We worship. Bhaktas will worship in temple, worship in house also, thinking that God is resides in puja room, God resides in temple. But this is yet I'll read today's verse. Yet karoshi yet snashi, yet karoshi yet snashi, yet juhoshi dadasi yet pasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Yet karoshi yet snashi, yet hoshi dadasi yet pasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. So if we look at the word by word meaning, so yet karoshi means whatever we do. Wait, just let me open the. Yet means whatever. Karoshi means you do. Yat means whatever. Karoshi means you do. Again, yat asnashi means whatever you eat. Yat juhoshi means offer to the sacred fire. Dadasi means bestow as a gift. Yat tapasyasi. Yat tapasyasi means the austerities you perform. Kaunteya, the son of Arjuna, the son of Kunti, Tat Krushva means Tat means them, Krushva means do. Madarpana, Madarpana means as an offering to me. So here in the last verse we saw we worship in the house, offering the whatever is easily available to us. In this verse, whatever he is saying that don't think that we should not think that God we should go to a temple and offer, we should offer it offer in puja room, but he is saying here whatever you do in the daily routine, whatever you do, it may be work, it may be some kirtan or anything, or the seva, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer to the sacred fire, wherever you bestow as a gift, wherever the austerities you perform, O son of Kunti, do them as an offering to me. So everything, the whole, to start with the whole life, in the life, whatever we do, we should offer it to the God. In the previous verse, Shri Krishna stated that all objects should be offered to him. Now he says that all actions should also be offered to him. So, yeah, what are those things usually we do is we do the eating, we do the exercise, we do the seva or puja, seva or kirtan. Instead of thinking I did this, I enjoyed this, we begin to think that Ishvara did it, Ishvara gets the results, consequently our stress level and worries begin to reduce as well. So we are saying Krishna, if we say that I did, then if there is a loss or if there is a anything adverse happens, then we get if we say that I did, then we may think why it happened and all those. But if you offer it to Ishvara did it, and Ishvara get the result. Consequently, our stress level, worries will reduce, and we think that whatever happens is for good. Okay. For instance, how do we transform that an act into worship? Anything that causes discomfort in the short term but gets us gain in the long term is an act of tapas. Yeah. Example, if we practice exercising daily, but in the long run, it is for good of our good health. Shri Krishna says that we can convert any action into penance if we imbibe it with the attitude of worship. So if we take a long walk for exercise, for example, we can imagine that we are doing a pradakshina, that walking around the temple. In this manner, even a discomforting act becomes a divine. So everything, if we dedicate, we are doing it for the God. If we say this pradakshina or the walk also, if we are dedicated to God, then discomfort act becomes the divine act. Yeah. So sometimes here Swami Mukundananda has given non-alcoholic vegetarian food and everything. So we have to offer which is good, not the thing which is bad. Like Swami says, we should not watch movies, we should not eat non-veg, egg, we should not. Even the alcoholic medicine is also not. Swami never used to take, and some devotees followed that also. So the offering should be non-alcoholic, non-veg. It should be pure vegetarian, like that, which is good. We should offer it to the Lord. Okay. Let me open the Swami Mukundananda site. I want to give one example. I was just going through the Samarpana videos. I came across one video. Usually we get angry. There were two devotees who traveled from some Madhya Pradesh, I think. They traveled to Parthi in the same coach, and she observed both. Both were not known to each other. They met in the train only while traveling to Parthi. One devotee, she used to take, she was a doctor, she used to take liquor, and she used to, after some time, she used to go outside, to the other coach or something, other coach, and she used to drink the liquor, or she used to take the pan masala and everything. She the other devotee observed it. And when they came to Parthi, Swami, both was sitting in the same row. Swami gave, first Swami came near to that doctor who used to drink. Then Swami took a letter from her. After some time, Swami came again, and he gave Pad Namaskar to her also, Pad Namaskar to doctor. The other devotee got angry, and she was saying that even though she drinks and eat pan masala and all, how come Swami is giving Pad Namaskar to such a lady? She was thinking. She got angry also. But after Pad Namaskar and everything, both it happened so that both started sharing. Both started living in the same room for the seva. Then slowly she started talking to her, and she asked, why can't you stop drinking liquor and all the everything? Then, and how did Swami gave even though you do all these things, Swami gave you Pad Namaskar and everything? She told that I lost my mother, and in the letter I wrote, you should give me Pad Namaskar. So he took the letter first, and then the second time when Swami came, he gave the Pad Namaskar. So she again, after 2 to 3 years, she asked, the other devotee asked whether why are not quitting smoking and all those things. Then if Swami is divine, he knows I drink, smoke and everything, he should transform me. Whenever he feels, he'll do that. After 2 or 3 years, she stopped drinking and smoking and everything, it seems. So when we should not hate any person, and we should not we should not see the negative qualities. When we surrender to Lord, He'll transform us. Even though some things we are not able to dedicate in our offer it to our which are not good. Sometimes everything we cannot offer it to God, but when we contemplate, worship continuously, He'll transform us. This is the example. When we offer everything, surrender to God, He'll transform us, even though if we have some bad qualities. Just whatever one does with the body, words, mind, senses and intellect, in accordance with the one's individual nature, should be offered to the Supreme Lord Narayana. So however, this act of offering is not to be done at the end of the work by merely reciting mantras such as Shri Krishna Arpana Mastu, as is done in the Vedic rituals. It is to be done while performing the action itself. So at the end, we should not say Shri Krishna Arpana Mastu. By maybe example, if we are cooking the food, we should remember God and cook it, and when we are eating, we should recite Brahmarpanam. So for everything, when we offer, our life will be transformed, self will be transformed, and if we have any bad habits, like some may get angry, quickly and all those things. Slowly it reduces when we offer it to God. Any questions? So some believe that God is not in temple, not in the puja room. They say that Aham Brahmasmi, but still they'll have some bad qualities. This is how when we surrender our life and every act if we offer will be transformed and God will take care of our bad qualities. No question. No questions. So we'll wait for 1 minute and chant Om Shanti Shanti.
Sure, sure, Sairam. I think, yeah, I'll chant Om Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam, everyone.
Sai Ram, Sai Sarup, Sai Ram Sharda, well presented.
Sairam, Sairam, uncle. Thank you.
Sairam, Sairam.